Hey, what up, y'all? Man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is. Another Charger conversation with your mans in them. Your uncle. Hostile takeover. Before we get into what we about to get into, I want to say happy G-Day to my brother Triune. I'm going to link his latest project. I'm gonna link his latest project in the comments, man. Y'all need to check that out. The Green Tape. It's what it is. It's live as fuck. So my brother, my mans and them, my peoples, one of my main supporters of comedy and just an overall great friend. Happy G-Day, fam. I love you. So, what are we getting into today? This one's going to be a little different. It ain't got nothing to do with men and women or none of that. I told you this is going to be an all-encompassing type of channel. So, let's deviate from what I've been doing, the type of content I've been making, and get into something a little different. So, Joe Biden has his country all fucked up, which I knew he would. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm only gonna focus on the money right now, right? So, we're facing some ridiculous fucking inflation. We're looking at possibly an even bigger financial downturn than 2008. And he's basically funding two different wars. We all know he's been sending ridiculous amounts of money to Ukraine. And he just increased the amount of money that we're sending Israel. Regardless of your stance on the Israel-Palestine thing, that issue, regardless of your stance, Israel is getting more money than they usually get. And Ukraine is getting ridiculous amounts of money and supplies that cost us money. Now, here's the problem. All that money, all that supplies, all that this, that, and the third should be staying here and taking care of the people here. What he's doing is basically to break it down from a former street perspective. He's taking care of two side chicks when the lights and power ain't on at the house. You know what I mean? Because we can't afford this shit. You know, that's like it's literally like having two side chicks when you can't afford the bills at home. It's stupid. It's unsustainable. And here's what's gonna happen if he keeps this up. We all know Chupe Fiasco is running for president again and is leading in the lead for the Republican nomination. If he keeps this up, it's going to come down to him and Tupe Fiasco again, and Biden's going to lose. His approval rating is shit. Half of the country didn't want either of these guys running. But when things are going wrong, people want to change. And so it's going to be bad for Biden. And it's not going to look good for Democrats, period. And here's why. The current hot button issue with Democrats is migrants from Central and South America. And these sanctuary cities can't afford the number of migrants that have come in. Chicago and New York, basically the two biggest cities in the country, population-wise, are making budget cuts to services that already are stressed out in order to pay for part of what it costs to house, feed, and process migrants. No matter where you stand on the issue, those cities can't afford it. New York Mayor Eric Adams of New York just announced that he's gonna cut the NYPD down by 4,000 officers, and there's gonna be no new police classes for the next 5 cycles. Not only that, he's making cuts to education and sanitation. We all know New York has a reputation for not being the cleanest city in the country. And you're gonna cut back on sanitation? Y'all got a rat problem already. You know, y'all police department already working hella overtime because they don't have enough officers, and you're gonna cut back by 4,000. Now, I'm not the biggest supporter of police. Are there good cops? Probably. I haven't met many. And as far as the NYPD goes, I really don't give a shit, because when that NYPD cop choked out Eric Garner, some of them were running around in "I Can't Breathe" t-shirts and all this shit like it was funny. Alright, y'all did it, I didn't like it, whatever. But don't whine and bitch now. On the flip side, the Democrats who supported and voted for Eric Adams don't complain now, because he's doing exactly what he said that he was going to do, right? He said New York was going to remain a sanctuary city. He said that no matter what, he was going to keep the city open to migrants. How did you think that shit was going to get paid for? He's got a contract with the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan. And migrants, they basically shut down the hotel, and it's all migrants there. If you know about the Roosevelt Hotel chain, there's only, I believe, 5 in the country anyway. I think it's 5. But they're very upscale hotels. The Hollywood Roosevelt, a friend of mine, my best friend who passed away, used to work there. They sell Ace of Spades champagne for $250,000. The rooms start at $600 a night. That's in LA. It's actually more expensive. The rooms are actually more expensive in New York. They got people who just got here with no money, no job staying there. When I planned my trip to New York, I couldn't afford to stay there. And I don't make bad money. Migrants in Chicago, they're making the same. Brendan Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is making similar budget cuts to that city's budget. And it hasn't even really gotten cold in Chicago yet. It snowed like twice, but it hadn't gotten really cold. And migrants are already complaining, talking about they don't want to be in Chicago. Well, you knew Texas didn't want you. You knew Florida didn't want you. So they sent you up to Chicago on buses in the summer. Now that it's winter, y'all don't want to be there. And some of them are talking about they want to go back. They want to go back to, their country, specifically some of the Venezuelans. If you're seeking asylum, if you're really seeking asylum and shit's that bad over there, right? You're living here for free and want to go back because it's cold? Were you really seeking asylum? Were you? Because I'd rather be cold than dead. And I told you, my mom is from Chicago on the south side. And not where she grew up, but where my grandparents moved to when she was in high school, they're trying to drop migrants about 5 blocks away in this section of the city called Morgan Park, which is off of Halsted Avenue and 115th. My grandparents' house was off of 119th and Halsted, a couple blocks over from Halsted on 119th. I know that area well. I spent summers, winters there. Entire summers, all 3 months. I know that area well. And my whole life, that area has been completely 100% black. Black owned, with black businesses. It's one of the few places I can say that about in this country. And now you want to drop Venezuelan migrants off over there? They're not having it. They're pissed. Brandon Johnson, probably not going to see another term. He's probably going to be a one-term mayor. But that was a tangent. But back to the point. These Democrats are doing exactly what they said they were going to do. And now y'all mad at them for it. Cardi B went on Instagram Live yesterday and is mad that they're making these budget cuts and doing all this stuff that they said they were going to do. Cardi B advocated an online campaign for Joe Biden and Eric Adams. And now you got something to say after they did exactly what they said they were going to do? Nah, you don't get that. Take that one on the chin, Cardi. And it's not personal. I don't listen to your music, but outside of your music, I don't have a problem with you. I don't like your music, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means I don't like your music. But you're a married woman who started her family and after she got married like it's supposed to be done. As far as I know, in your personal life, you ain't out here doing wild shit or whatever. I have no problem with you personally. But on this issue, we disagree. Those two people that you advocated for, voted for, and told other people to vote for, use your platform to tell other people to vote for, are doing exactly what they said they were going to do. So what's the problem? But to make the bigger point, make it more general, Democrats are doing exactly what they said they were going to do. And it's not going to work out well for them when it comes time for elections. If it comes, like I said, if it comes down to Jim Crow 2.0 Joe and Tupe Fiasco wins. Because what Biden is doing isn't working. Eric Adams is probably going to lose re-election. Brandon Johnson is probably going to lose re-election because the things that they're doing aren't working. Now, I'll throw my little stance on the migrant situation in real quick. I'm not anti-immigration. Far from it. But there needs to be a system in place. And new people coming into the country can't fall on the taxpayers, on the shoulders of the taxpayers who are already here. Because we can't afford it. I can't afford more taxes. Sorry. I just can't. Especially when my taxes aren't going to the things that I want it to go for, right? Why are we taking care of people and I got to pay for my own health care? I have to pay for my own fucking health care. Why am I taking care of other people's health care and mine? Right? Why do I have to pay for my therapist out of pocket and feed somebody else? Feed and house somebody else? When there's hungry and homeless people born here. And all of this is going to lead to other problems, I promise you. It will. All of this is going to lead to other problems. None of which we're going to be ready for. I'm not advocating for Republicans here because I'm not a Republican, nor am I a Democrat. I'm what I like to call politically agnostic. I'm registered no party affiliation, and I vote either for or against issues depending on how they affect me and my household. So let's do this. I'm going to end it with this. I can only speak for black people with this on this point because I'm black. So if you're another race and you feel differently, sorry. But this part of the conversation isn't for you to speak on. Black people should not belong to political parties. Because neither of the major parties, actually any of the parties, are geared to address our issues, nor do they care about it. Black people need to refrain from registering for political parties and vote the way that it affects their individual household and the community at large. So and this is just an opinion. I'm not a political science major. I've never had a job in politics. This is just me talking. Black people should vote and consider 3 factors. How does this affect my black household? How does this affect the black community? And how does this affect the country at large? Then make your decision, regardless of political party. And we need to turn away from identity politics and voting for people just because they're black, just because they're a black woman, just because they're this, they're that. We need to turn away from that and deal with their actual stance. Identity politics is not going to get us anywhere, because the people that are getting voted in on identity politics are not taking care of the black community and doing the things that they should to ensure the success of the black community. And no, I'm not talking about reparations. I'm just talking about the issues that they were elected to address. And with that, I'm out. Middle fingers up. Be safe. Stay dangerous.